Hello, we are here with iHeart BBW, and we are going to be talking about BBW bashes, all about it. We're just going to get into the depth of it. If you have been to one, I know you're going to enjoy this conversation. If you haven't, just know what you can expect. And we have here with us Carrie, our CEO, of course, that
Hey.
is always joining us. And we have Venus here from Savagely Curvy Connect, who has so much expertise in bashes. We have been talking a little bit about it, and gosh, she knows all the tea.
There's a lot of
So
tea.
it is. There definitely is. So I am gonna let you introduce yourself, Venus. If you want to let us know, like what bashes you have attended to, where to find you, and what your page is about, you got the floor.
Before we get started, we need to tell people what a bash is.
Oh, you're right.
I feel like that would be good. I'm glad you brought
What
us
is
You're
back.
that?
right. What is a bash? I learned the word bash. Well, English is my second language, so let's start with that. I recently learned the word bash, but when I learned it was because of these parties. They, I would describe it as parties that are for certain groups of people, and that they, I don't know how to say it, like they bring together
A
a
common
bunch of
interest.
people. Yeah, we come with a common interest. In this case, we're talking about BBW bashes. So they're bashes and parties that are open to plus size people. I know they're very welcoming of everyone. However, they are focused on giving a space to plus size people to go out there, be themselves, party, and have fun. So that's what I think a bash is. Do you want to tell us what you think a bash is? Because I don't know.
Nope. Let's go to Venus.
Oh, it's usually a single or multi-day event, typically over a long weekend, where you can pay for one or multiple days to be fat and or body positive, for all genders, and sexual orientations usually. It could be anything from a pool party to a week-long event in another country. And they're all over the country. So I've been to I've been to events in London. I know there's some in South Africa, um, and they are growing. Fat people want to have fun. Fat people just want to have fun.
And
I
be
need to
on a
teach it.
bikini freely. Like
Yes,
what, that's one of the
just
things
let it hang
that
out.
I will say that that was the main thing that attracted me to go into a bash the first time. When I learned that there were a bunch of fat people hanging out around a pool, wearing wherever they wanted, and no one was like making weird eyes or anything, I was like, I'm in. That's when I was like, okay, this is it. I don't care what else is going on. I just want to be able to wear a bikini, and that's actually the first time that I wore a two piece bikini. You know what I
Oh,
mean? Like with my belly out and everything. It
really?
wasn't a bash. It was my first time ever. Yes. Yes,
Oh, that's great.
I just became a little slutty. I just
Just a
I'm
little, just
kidding.
a tiny bit, not a lot. We don't
But
can't go
recently,
full
my
slut.
changes have been recent. Yeah. But
Yeah,
yeah,
I
Carrie, what
definitely go ahead.
no, I was gonna ask you which one has you been to and your experience?
So I have been out of the bash circuit for about 10 years, maybe
Oof.
longer. Geez, I feel kind of old right now, but I have attended the Stew Vegas Bash. I've been to Breeze Well Rounded, which has since rebranded to something else. But when I went, it was called Well Rounded.
Breeze
I
pop up.
went Breeze Pop Up now, yeah. Um, I've gone to Babs in New Jersey. I've gone to, geez, there was one in the Inland Empire at one time that was affiliated with Stew, but I don't remember who held it or and it was really just kind of like a hotel party takeover thing. There was no pool party, which is really what is the allure for me because I'm a water baby and I love to be in my sexy bikini flaunting
Hmm.
all these curves and I love to be in the water and at the pool like that's just really my vibe. And I went to one in Tampa long time ago. I don't remember who put that on, but yeah, I've been to many of the older ones pre-pandemic, probably even pre-pandemic, but yeah, I've been to several bashes. My favorite honestly is Stu's Bash, and that's just because I felt like it was a very eclectic crowd of people and I felt very comfortable. Of course, there's issues anytime you go to any type of, group event. You run into situations where people click up, or you run into people that are older and not really supportive of the younger people because they're, older people that get miserable and like, oh, they're dancing all night. And you're like, that's what we're supposed to do. But I personally, I personally just kind of go with this intention of letting loose, enjoying the environment, and making the best out of what I have. And so I feel like Stews at the time was probably one of my favorites.
Awesome. What about you, Venus? Do you have a favorite?
No, it's weird.
Okay.
I've been going for, I want to say maybe 25 years,
Oh,
semi
Stop.
consistently. Yeah, so I'm old. I think my first, so I'm going back to AOL, so I'm aging myself. And I think I went to a bash in Atlanta. That was my first one. It
I
wasn't even
was
like an official group. It was like a AOL chat room had a come to this hotel and we're all gonna hang out kind of
I
thing.
think I went to that.
And I think I didn't get there
look
till
at that.
Saturday because I had a flight delay or some
I
wackiness.
I was literally gonna ask that because I was like 25 years ago, how did you find out about a bash? Because even now, with all the modern social media
In the
being posted
olden
everywhere,
days.
there's so many people that still don't know about them. Like whenever they see me hanging out in the photos, they're like, "Where? What was that?" And I'm like, "It's a bash," and they're like, "I had no idea this sis." Like I've brought
Before
so many people into it.
before social media, there were forums. There was Fat Forums, Dimensions,
Mm,
Curvage, Chubby Parade, and probably more that I'm not thinking about because they a lot of them don't exist anymore. But back then, before there was social media, you posted in the forums. And the forums was where, and that's I think Coco, is it Coco that's Dimensions?
Yeah,
plus
they're plus
dimensions.
dimensions now,
Yeah.
but I don't think that was the original dimensions. I know what you're
Oh,
talking
okay.
about.
Okay.
That was something else. They had a whole magazine, I think.
Oh
Yeah, I
wow.
don't
And
know.
they, yeah, that was a different dimensions. Yeah,
I'm
that's
still
taking it
there,
back.
but it's not really my scene because I don't do like the eating fetish, or what do they call it?
Yeah, they had a whole feedy thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like on there that's really
Okay.
popular. And yeah, so I remove myself. But yeah, so there were forums and you'd post on the forums, and that's how you promoted your events. So if you weren't on the forums, then you didn't know about the events, and now we've got social media, so
Yeah, but it
And
seems like
places
people, like you said,
like
people still don't
Savagely
know.
Curvy Con. Yeah, if places like the Instagram that Venus runs that has all she posts out there all the events that there are coming up and everything. So if you ever want to look and be like, oh, let me see where I can go in there and you will see it. I was gonna ask, like, okay, so you said you don't have a favorite, but what is one thing that makes a bash stand out for you that makes you wanna actually go?
Um, Usually for me, it is location. Are the people friendly? Um, I like to dance, so DJs kind of matter to me.
Yeah,
I, so, and I think we were talking before about there are some bashes where that's not always the case. And
yep,
I still will go. I mean, sometimes you'll get a bash where the DJ, I feel like it's like the triangle. You can have good music or good people or good location, but you're not necessarily always going to get all three.
right,
Um, and so I've been going to Babs for, I think they call me an OG there because that was my first one.
okay,
So I've been going there for 20 years, on and
wow.
off, easily
Me
20
that's
too.
years.
awesome.
Really? Yeah.
I know
No, no, no.
Gail
Wait. Do
and
you remember China
Tyrone.
Chalet?
Excuse me?
Do you remember China Chalet?
I remember China. I don't.
So there used to be a one night party in New York, and it was funny because it was for fat people, but the
Mhm.
steps were like stupidly steep, and you had to always go to the second floor to get to
Yes.
them.
Oh
Yes.
my
I
And
god.
that was
remember.
like the party every month before I found out about anything else that I would go to. And it was in like a club, like a regular, it had a bar and everything, but the steps. And I was like, how are we having fat people going up these steps? But we
Are you
went up
talking
them.
about
Right.
Goddess's
Yeah,
Party?
Goddesses. That's what it was. The
Yeah, it
name of
was
the place was Child's
Goddesses.
Play. Sorry
Yeah.
about that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've been around a long
Oh
time, so I remember
gosh.
all of this.
Yes.
That's another funny
So,
thing. I've met people that whenever we start talking, they're like, "Oh no, we met on this place." Like Charles, the cinematographer. Like we're here in a house, and we are acting like we never met each other, and then he's like, "Wait." you were at Stu's bash? And he's like, you lent me the lights for me to do a video. And I'm like, oh, that was you. So it's like everyone knows each other. Like everyone's interlaced in the bash kind of world, I guess.
Well, 20 years ago, there was maybe 2 or 3 events a year, if that. Like,
Oh,
there was Babs. I'm trying to think, China Chalet. Like, I don't remember. I remember going to the original Vegas, and there was like a
mhm.
handful of us. I don't know if it was Bree or who it was who ran it,
It
but I
was a
went.
couple. It was a
Bree,
couple. I
well,
met them.
it was a couple and Bree. So the original Vegas Bash before it turned into the well-rounded and all that was a married couple, and then Bree was part of the team, and then
Mhm.
Bree left to do well-rounded, and then they tried to do something, and I forget what they called it, but they couldn't call it the Vegas Bash, and they changed the venue because it was at the Tuscany. That was the original Vegas Bash location, and then they went to Golden Nugget. And because there was so much division between the Bree and the couple, and then the couple had a lot of like life stuff happening, medical issues and things like that, that they were just like, okay, enough is enough. And Bree, excuse me, Bree went on to do, obviously Bree still has the stuff that she's doing. And a lot of the people that are with her have been since the original Vegas Bash, which is probably why you felt like it was kind of clicky and very much
Yeah.
like the people that were there have known each because they've been bashing together for 20 something years.
So it's funny because I went to the first one, and one of the events without I think it's hilarious now was we went to the thing where you go joust. They watch them joust.
Medieval times.
Yes, we went to medieval
Oh,
times as one of the events, which nowadays would never happen, I don't think. But that
No.
was one of the like I think they were trying to find things, and this is before you had like a bash sort of, you have your Friday night party, your Saturday night, maybe a pool party. This was we're all and there wasn't enough of us really to do a whole lot of have a party. And so we went to and I just find it hilarious now that we watch the people. And then I think I had to leave because there was so much hay.
it's
Um
so much. I was gonna say, like, I guess bashes have evolved so much because now you go to a bash and it's almost like a convention. You have vendors, you have speakers sometimes, some of them. You have like and Vegas last time there was a group that organized a whole party bus that they went to different hotels to go to like the different pools and different hotels in the strip. Like they do
oh.
so many things now. And yeah, the people in Vegas they got a lot of stuff going on there. I am sleeping the whole day, so I missed everything.
Oh yeah, you
I
be
went to
worn
bed
out.
at 6 a.m. every day, so I missed it all.
Yeah.
But I think
Um
it's funny that you say that all they could find to do on the first one was to go to medieval times. When
it
now
was
it's
just
like
I think the
that's
party maybe
crazy.
we had a party and we were empty. I don't think at that point we were like if we went to the pool, there was no bikinis. I don't think I even wore bikinis for the first 10 years. It's just it hasn't changed a lot. I think it's just a lot. Um yeah, it's just changed a lot. I think um my favorite actually is Coco, to be honest. So the Coco
Oh,
Beach Bash I feel like is a good balance of a lot of things mind you, I've not been to every bash, right? So
mhm.
I feel like Coco is for the first time I went to Coco, the registration was 160 or something. I was mad. I think me and two of my friends went. We had never been to their bash before. We hadn't heard about it. I just had a flyer and said we're going. We'd all had a lot of upheaval in our lives. We needed a break. And I want to say within the first hour of the roaming room party on Thursday night, we had all decided we were going back. We like
Nice,
it wasn't even up for debate. Um,
nice,
Amy is one of the best organizers I've met. When she says something's going to happen, it's going to happen. For the money that you pay, you get your money's worth. Generally, people are pretty friendly. And I think it's probably one of the first times I went where it's very like you're not wearing a bikini. Like, why? Are you okay? Like
mhm,
they're just want you to be your authentic self, whatever that is. Then that's what they want you to be. Wear the bikini, wear the shoestring in your butt and the crack, twerk for all the people, and it's fully and total supportive. And it's probably one of the best ones with sort of my triangle of bash, what you're gonna get for
nice.
the price and
Bang
for
for
a
the buck.
newbie. Yeah, you're gonna get the most bang for your buck for that one. And I've had people so we have a YouTube channel who've watched the YouTube channel and went and we're happy that they kind of knew what to go into it, and it was a good first start. I think a lot of the bashes, people tend to go to the same bashes together, and so
Mhm.
they build these friendships, so that can be a little bit intimidating. But I think Coco's a good one where you may meet groups of people who will know each other, but generally you're going to be welcomed and included. And Amy is not going to let you sit there by yourself looking crazy. Like, no, you're going to come here and get some of this bash love.
You know, I
I like
actually
that.
I love that. And in my case, for the last bash that I went to, I made sure to go on like Excellence Plus, which is Stu's Bash. They have like a Discord, and I went into the Discord and I started going like, "Hey, who's here? Like, what's up? Like, let's make friends before we go to the bash, so I know, like, I see you, I talk to you. Like, if you see me, come and talk to me too, because I want to make sure that like I already have some connections made before I get there, because it can be a little intimidating to just get to
Yeah,
a place. Even though I had a bunch of friends that were coming with me, I knew that there were friends that they were going to be in different groups, like floating around, So I wasn't going like with a set group of people. And I feel like that's a good thing. That is another change, that there's a lot of chats. There's a lot of Facebook private groups that they have the people that are going to the specific bash, and they start getting to know each other before they get there. And when they get there, there will be people that approach you and are like, "Oh, I saw you on this, or I follow you on that," or you know what I mean? And that's like a conversation starter. So I feel like they're doing great at that, making a space for them to connect before getting to the party, I guess.
yeah, yeah. A lot of the groups do have Facebook groups. I think is what is sort of the
Hmm.
alternative to Discord, and
Yeah.
that is a good way I think to get to know people or ask questions. I think you mentioned what should you bring or what should you do. I think a
Yeah, that
lot
was
of
a
the
good another
right.
question.
So like for Coco, Amy will tell you take your vitamin C before or you get the bash flu at the end because of whatever is going on.
Hmm.
And then if you're a drinker, there are some so for Coco again, they provide food. It's one of the few bashes where I don't buy any alcohol because my liver can't take the amount. I don't need to buy anything extra. And then there are some where you want to bring your own food and your own liquor because maybe the bash registration is lower, so they don't charge you as much, but you need to provide your own sort of food or beverages. So, there's a balance either way depending on what you're looking for. But
I
yeah,
was gonna
like I said,
I was gonna say one of the things that there are some bashes. I don't know if they all do it, but I've seen that a couple of them do clothing swaps on the bash. So I always try to plan to bring like some of my clothing, because I went from a size 24, 26 to much smaller now. So like I have a bunch of clothing that I bring, but I pack too much shit of my own to be able to bring. But I guess that's one of the things, that if you see that a batch has a clothing swap, to make sure to bring things that you don't use anymore, like go through your closet, bring it, because you can exchange it for articles of clothing that other people have, and helps each other.
I have a couple of suggestions. One thing is a fanny pack or like a small bag that you
mm,
can carry your ID, your room key, your cell phone, and
yeah,
any other like chapstick. Like, especially when you're doing like beach stuff, I always carry chapstick to keep my lips from getting all chappy and whatnot. But that helps you from having to carry like a bag around. A waterproof phone case, because if you're doing pool parties, if you're doing the beach, or if you're anywhere around water, you want to protect your phone. And I like to film, so I like to make sure that my phone can go in the water or get wet and I don't suffer any consequences. Comfortable shoes, because when you do the parties and you want to wear like heels and look pretty, eventually your feet are going to hurt and you want to have like something you can slide into real quickly to alleviate some of that pressure on your feet and make you comfortable. It could be the difference between staying and enjoying the rest of the party versus leaving early and missing the good stuff just because you wanted to go and be cute. And me and heels don't get along for very long, so I already know I need to have something else. And the other thing I was going to say is like a water bottle or something where you can stay hydrated, because people run out of cups, or you don't want to like have a cup that looks like everybody else's cup. I like to bring my own container so that I can stay hydrated and keep myself from being dehydrated.
That's a good one. In Vegas,
that's
in
good.
Vegas, they have like the pool bar. they give you like this big cups where you buy like the, the frozen drinks and all that. And we buy the first one, and the refill is a little bit less, even though it's super expensive. But we used to like put our names on it and everything. But bringing my own cup, I feel like that would be even better. But of course, you cannot. If you're gonna drink at the pool, you gotta buy from the pool. So like, there's not much going around it. Like you can switch it to your cup, but you cannot bring your own drinks to the pool at that
No,
So
but
point.
yeah, but you can at least have a cup that has your name on it, so
Yeah,
it differentiates from everybody else's cups.
yeah.
so
No,
usually
that's a
we
great
bring
idea.
what I call sippy cups.
Yeah.
So I have a
Okay.
giant cup that's probably about as big as my scent thing, and it's wide. So if it's water, it goes in there. If it's not water, it goes in there. And that's what I carry around for bashes where just so I have something to drink as we're moving and grooving throughout party time.
Okay. That is a great idea to have your own cup. Let's see. One of the things that I wanted to ask, which is a very common thing that I get asked, is like, how much do you spend on average on a bash? Like,
I
I'm
don't even
talking
think
about
there's
average because I know I know there's like some that are very expensive, but like, what does
so
like a bash party cost average, ticket wise and like hotel
ticket
wise?
wise. So
Mm-hmm.
if you, I want to say, I will say this year inflation has hit a little bit hard for some of the registrations.
Mm.
So let's call it 180 for Thursday to Sunday. So that means you're having events all of those days. Um, and for 180, you're getting either some kind of beverage or food with that. So
Okay.
there are some bashes where I pay maybe $80 for that same time period, but I don't get food and I don't get beverages. That's just party. So that's paying for the DJ, that's paying for them to have the room and that kind of
Mm-hmm.
thing. But if you want to include your food and beverages, then probably about 180 for Thursday to Sunday. So a lot of the
Mm.
bashes now are doing like Wednesday to Sunday like it's because
Yeah.
it's for some people this is their vacation for the year. So they'll go from Monday to Sunday and maybe even add on a few more days. And because you're at a hotel, Coco's by the beach, they stay a little bit longer, and so you're paying for a lot more days than just a weekend.
Yeah, they're
Um,
already there.
You need to
yeah. So
recover.
I
A
I
lot of
got
times you
one.
partied hard and you need that, like, trying to get up and go to the airport the next day, you're like,
No,
"What the
I
yeah,
would
yeah,
I
yeah,
would recommend that to everyone. Please stay until Monday. Like,
yeah.
don't
I do
don't
that
do
regularly
it.
now.
Yeah, like I stay until Monday at least, because the Sunday I am worth nothing. So I need the
Rather than talking
recovery.
about the
But
pricing."
yeah.
Oh, go ahead, I'm sorry.
No, I was gonna say one little tip that I also have is that a lot of the bashes, because they already know when they're gonna do it next year, they do a lot of early bird specials.
Yes.
So if you buy your tickets earlier, you will always get, well, almost always will get a discount. So if you're looking to budget better on your planning, and you're like me that you start buying things little by little, buy the tickets first on early bird and then worry about the rest.
Yeah.
And then you can resell them if you're not going. You
We'll
want
check to
to
make
go
sure
ahead.
that they have the transfer option.
Right.
Right,
That's not
right,
always. People have
right.
gotten stuck like that.
One of the things I
Yeah.
was gonna say, outside of pricing, what would you say are event types? Like, let's say some of them have clothing swaps, some of them have pool parties, dance parties, workshops, things of that nature. What would you say are the events that interest you the most? So let's say someone who's wanting to go to a bash, like, I know that Well Rounded used to have workshops. I don't know what they have anymore, but they used to have workshops. But what would you say are some events that really attract you to wanting to participate in a bash?
Um, I like diversity of events that are other than parties. So like Kirby Ventures had a morning mimosas and cupcake uh event, which I thought was really interesting. I think the only downfall to
Love
that is you
that.
got to get up for it the day after the party. But I got up. I got up.
I'm
It
not
was it
going.
was real. And it was so cute. There's a picture I think on our Instagram of me holding a mimosa with the cupcake. They had
That's
Zumba
cute though.
lessons in the morning.
Oh,
They had like they really try. They have a very diverse event list for their bash. Um,
And this
They
is
had
Curvy
then
Ventures?
yes.
Curvy
Okay.
They had a
Ventures.
male and female, so the men went off and smoked cigars, and the women went off. I was asleep. I don't understand.
I know Excellence Plus has that in Vegas. That's another thing. Like, not every location is the same. My experience has been mostly Vegas. I've gone to Chicago. I've gone to New Jersey too, and some other places that I wouldn't consider them bashes, but they do plus size events, so I kind of include them on the list sometimes, like New York City Plus and all. And in Vegas specifically, the Excellence Plus, they do have the men's hour and the women's hour, and they do the cigar thing, and the women, get together and all that. So that's pretty cool to see that they are giving those spaces. I personally feel that they can even do even more. Like, I feel like there are things that I wish they would have, like, a suggestion box instead of like talking directly to the owners, of course, to be like, hey, why don't you like do things that a plus size girl sometimes is not willing to explore because they're afraid in some ways, like, I don't know, like spa kind of services, or like waxing. Like, I know that there's so many plus size women that don't go waxing just because they're afraid of that their size of their body that will be treated differently, like things like that, like that I've heard from friends of mine and all, that I wish they included on these bashes, because I feel like the space is there, the opportunity is there to offer that. But like I said, not every bash is gonna have everything. Not every bash is perfect. So
I think part of the issue with that is how what can you do in such a small time sometimes?
right,
How much are you willing how many people are willing to do it, and what are you charging for this? And so I don't know, it gets a little weird. And then there's some bashes are every event is well attended, right? So and
mm-hmm.
then I go to there's a I'm not gonna name this one, but there's one bash where nobody does anything during the day. They used to have all kind of events, but they don't go because either people are tired from the night before, or they want
Right,
to go sightseeing, or they want to go do these other things. So it gets a little, I mean, I would love to do a spa thing or try, like, I like
right,
diverse events, trying different, like I got it for the mimosas. I just think
yeah.
sometimes it's a challenge for the organizers to try and do everything for everyone.
Yeah,
But
I feel
yeah.
like it's more the ones that bring vendors are the ones that I'm talking about more, because there are
Oh,
some
okay.
that bring vendors and they bring certain things, but they could also bring services and stuff like that that people, because for example, me, I in my first experience for the bash was me going. Oh, actually, it was the second. Never mind. But the same trip, because I did both Breeze and Excellence Plus on the same
Oh,
trip.
that's a long week.
Yeah, I did one and then the next one, and the in Excellence Plus, like, I went as a photographer. My first experience was working actually at Excellence Plus. And I did the photos for that for 2021. On 2022, I went and I said, okay, I feel like there's a lot of plus size women that want to do boudoir photo shoots, but they don't get out there. And I wanted to like give that opportunity to people like, hey, you can hire me if you want to do a little boudoir session. We'll do it in your room, because that's usually what people do. They do hotel rooms or something like that to do the photos. And it was great to see the interest of people getting into things like that. Like, there was another girl I remember that she was selling beads, like the waist
Waist
beads.
beads?
Yeah, custom size and everything. That was awesome. I bought like 3, I remember. So like that, those are kind of things that I feel like as plus size women, like you cannot just go, and most people won't just go out there and look for those things. But when you bring it to a bash, if you are a bash organizer that has the space for vendors, I feel like those are things that they should reach out to services and bring them in. You know what I mean? Like that's all.
Gotcha.
Like, if they have the space. Let me see. What has been the best bash that you've been to for dancing? Like the best DJ, the best
Swim thick.
vibe,
Swim thick.
something.
Swim
Okay.
thick all day, every day, twice on Tuesdays.
What about
I
you,
mean,
Carrie?
are you
No,
No,
asking
I've
I
never
you
been to
said
Swim
swim
Thick. I
thing.
just had interest.
Oh, so Swim Thick is a party that is it it was a 1-day pool party. It has now transformed into a bash like thing. Um, but their
Awesome.
DJ, I think the first year we went, Fat Man Scoop was there. And I think I danced the whole time. Then they
Mhm.
went from a PJ party and a pool party and a bad brunch. I danced at every event. They have the best DJ of all of the bashes I've been to.
Nice. And you, Carrie, what's been the one that you've thrown it down the most?
Well, if I'm being honest, so I did BBW Fan Fest in 2012 and 2013, which was right before Stu's Bash and Bree's Bash, and it was geared towards adult creators at the time. But that's the event that I just, because I had worked so hard on the event all weekend, that when the party came Saturday night, I just went wild. So shameless plug on my little 2-year event. So I understand what it is, what it's like to put these things together and try to have enough entertainment and enough things for everyone to do. But, also being in that situation where not everyone is reliable. So saying that you're going to do something and actually showing up to do it, and then coming up with 10,000 reasons why it's not beneficial for you anymore the week before, I get it. Totally understand. So making these things happen and just seeing through organization, it took me a year to put it together. So and the money, the financial aspect of throwing these types of events, the decorations and all the man hours, because you have to hire staff, like it's a lot. So, but if I had to choose any of the bashes, I'm going to probably pick Babs. So Babs had an event in New Jersey off the 1 and 9. I don't remember what the location was, but I remember I danced the entire time. And I was so tired. And when they were like, okay, show's over, party's done, like, and I'm still dancing. I'm like, the music's not even playing. And I've got this whole soundtrack in my head. And it was one of the best parties that I went to from Babs. I don't know if they hired a different DJ or I don't know what happened, but I just had a really good time. And that was probably one of the ones that I danced the most at. I cut a
Nice.
rug or 7.
And so, what about you, hostess with the mostest?
Well, for me, it definitely, funny enough, it definitely has been Excellence Plus in Vegas, but in the after party in Julian's
Oh,
room.
not the after party.
Yeah, in Julian's room. That was the spot everyone would go. Well, not everyone, because obviously it was a room, but the after party got so fun that by Saturday night he rented a whole suite in the hotel to be able to accommodate more people. And there were so many people coming that the whole hallway was full of us, and it was really fun and everything, but it was chaotic as hell. I had to actually, like, thank God my friend had the room right in front of it, so we were able to basically like hide in that one. But it was really fun. It was really, really fun. So it was kind of a room crawl, but honestly it was the unofficial after party for everyone every night. So that was
Yeah.
for me. And he had very good music, honestly. So shout out to Julian. I hope he's there this year. But I do have a good account of friends of mine that have been able to go to BBW Bunnies and Duns. Bunnies and
Oh,
Dons.
I've been there.
Oh,
That's
What
not a
is it
there
bash
you go.
called?
though. That's
Well,
not a bash.
that's the thing. It's like
I
a
keep
party.
freezing.
They've been traveling. They've been doing it in different cities. So I kind of like feel like they're going in the direction of a bash, but it's still right like a little kind of party still.
So I have a TikTok of us going to the one in New York,
Yeah, in Brooklyn. They did one in Queens. They've done in Brooklyn. It
Queens.
depends on the part. Okay, the Queens one.
Yeah.
That was by my house. Yep.
Were you there? Did you go to that?
No,
That was
I
the
wasn't able to go. I wasn't able to go, but I got
Oh,
friends that
okay,
went.
okay.
Yeah.
Oh, because that's a whole other level there. That's
So
Wait,
what
in
is it
what
called
way
again?
though?
BBW Bunnies and
BBW
what?
Bunnies and Dons.
Bunnies and
Dons?
Duns. Dons,
DONS,
like
yes.
DONS.
Yes.
Oh.
But they do
Yes.
very like okay, what I do like about them is like yes, they're like one night parties. They do not give you the location until you buy the ticket at all. So it's very, I don't know what's going on, but they do the themes and everything, which is another thing. That's one of the things I enjoy most about bashes. When they give you a theme night, I go all the way out to dress up with that theme. I know not everyone does it, but I feel for me it's a custom party.
I
And I
f-
follow those themes always. So I feel like that's one of the funnest things for me in a bash.
I think
Do
for
y'all
10
do y'all do the
years.
themes? Mhm.
Wait, am I frozen again? Oh.
No, you're good.
No, no, no.
Um, I did themes up until probably 2019, and then I
Uh-huh.
realized that after 10 or however many or more years of buying a dress for every party or theme, I'm over it. I don't care. I don't care what the theme is. It is what it is. Um, except for this year with Swim Thick, like I'm trying to put in an extra effort for that, but other than that, I don't care anymore. And
Okay, because
that's
you know
because I'm old.
the swim thing is gonna be everywhere on socials. So you know for that one you do have to do a little
You gotta
extra
put in
there.
some work. It's a little bit extra. But yeah, I mean, it's like they had a bash I went to last year. They had like a cosplay one, which I thought was pretty cool. But it was like,
Yes.
I gotta pack up my costume and my 4 bathing suits and all the other stuff and bring it to Florida. Like it was Coco. That was cool because people came as superheroes or villains and some Star Trek people and Star Wars, and that was
Mhm.
interesting. Like those are cool. I do like watching other people. And Halloween is always like a thing at BBW Land. So
Yes.
people
I
go
did
hard.
they did also cosplay in Vegas and I did win all out for that one. I was Chigo from Kim Possible. But
Oh,
because it was pool party, you know, you gotta do the swimsuit version. So I thought that was really fun
oh,
to, yeah, because
that's
it's
cool.
in the pool, even though it's cosplay.
Right.
But I think that's one of the funnest things for me. I was gonna say, one of the things that I wanted to see if you recommend to people, because I know that there's some people that cannot do the whole event. Do you recommend for them to do the one night? Because I know that some places offer just the one night tickets or to buy the whole package. Do you
Go
think
Saturday.
they can absorb the experience, and what day would be like most recommended to go to?
Okay, so I want the both of you to just take a minute, empty your mind, and what was it like your first experience going to your first plus size party that first night? What was your thoughts? So if you take that in my head, for me, even one night was an eye opener that I deserved to be able to dress up and feel beautiful, and that there were other women and other people who appreciated that I did this, and
Hmm.
that I had a community that could support me in feeling beautiful and deserving of love. And it was so empowering, even that one night, that it was worth the amount that I paid for it. Right. So if you can't go for a whole week, and everyone that I've known men or women who likes larger people, larger bodies, and people in
Hmm.
those larger bodies, I've never met anyone who's gone their first night and not been heavily impacted by that. And whether you can't so the choice of the night, to me, I think we all know that Saturday night of any bash is usually the best night, but
Yeah.
whatever night you can go, especially if you've never been, just go, because you're going, even at this day and age where body positivity and fat positivity is all over the world, still being in a room with people who either are your size, understand your struggles, thigh chafing, or getting on the airplane, or I'm scared to wear the bikini. I'm scared to wear the bodycon. Don't know how to talk about sexual things because I'm a larger person. I want to turn off the lights because he doesn't. I'm afraid of what they're going to see or whatever. And being in a room with someone who understands and having those conversations, or even just seeing people in, I don't want to show my arms. She's showing her arms. How can she do that? I want to be like her, is
Hmm.
empowering. You can't get that. I mean, social media is wonderful. TikTok and Instagram and Facebook and all those, and seeing it, but
It's
being in
not
a
the
room
same.
with that level of community and support, and is just, you can't get, it's just go any night. Whatever night you can go, that's the night you should go.
Also, I think that also brings up a very good point is that you should go into these events with an open mind and absorb the experience. I feel like a lot of people just kind of look for everything that's negative, and I'm going to be honest, sometimes I fall victim to that as well, especially since I have an added aspect. When I was going to bashes before there was an influx of OnlyFans creators and things of that sort. I've been in the adult industry for 20 years. And back then, there were a lot of issues where these events were very discriminatory against people that were in the adult industry for a variety of reasons, which now I understand a little bit better why. But at the time, as a first time, I've been to Club Bounce, I've been to Club Butterfly. Those are California parties that I don't know if they exist anymore, but
Bounce just
I've
restarted. Sorry.
what happened?
I said Bounce just restarted.
I saw that. I saw Tree was posting Club Bounce stuff and I was like, is this like old footage or is this accurately new? Or but and I understand, when you go to these large group events, sometimes you're going to feel ostracized even within your own community. And I feel like you kind of have to remove that preconceived opinion and just go with the intent of having a good time and taking what positive things you can take from it, even if it's just you're going to a space where people look like you, or people understand your struggles, rather than going and being like, oh, they were looking at me, or you know what I mean? Like, you just have to have a positive attitude. That way you can enjoy it. You're spending your money. It's like going anywhere else in your life. You don't go to a restaurant if you don't like the food. So,
So
Right.
I do want to say that just because I think somehow people think that all fat people get along. And I think you're gonna
Oh no.
go in with an open mind. But people are people, right? At any
right.
size,
Right.
people are gonna people are people in, right? This is what they're gonna do.
That's what
So
it
don't
is.
go in.
There's drama in every group.
Yeah, it's people are
I was,
people in, and you just
I,
gotta let them people. And that's
I
what
was
that
gonna
is.
say, like, I feel like the one of the best hyping up I've ever gotten are in BBW bashes. Like, like in plus size parties, that's when everyone's like, "Oh my god, I love this!" Like, I feel like that's where you get the most hyped up. I love that about it. I have also had other experiences like we also, like you said, keep an open mind, because at the end of the day, we're all different people in a space, and everyone's gonna act different. It is great that we do have a community. It is a group that we all have similarities. We can relate, but not everyone's gonna have the same personality. So there's gonna be clashes. That's for sure. I personally, when you said that some people sometimes feel ostracized and all that in the events, I felt that because in my last one, I think I've told you this. I don't know, Carrie, but I did weight loss surgery, right? So I'm much smaller now than how I was when I went to my first bashes. And when I went again, I was like, oh, I know I'm not the target audience here. You know what I mean? Like, I'm still fat, but I'm not like BB like plus size how I used to be, like not as big as I used to be. And I still went like, listen, I still enjoy the bashes. I have friends there. I love meeting people. I'm gonna make the best out of this. And I was there having the most fun and everything. I did have certain situations that I did have people that are fetishizers that did went out of their way to let me know you're not big enough for me. And I'm like, but I wasn't even asking, like, what's going on here? You know what I mean? So I did have that situation. So it's just a matter of knowing that it is a great space, and it feels like a safe space, but there still can have can bring out
There are gonna be
situations
haters.
that, yeah, exactly. There's gonna be situations that happen
You're
too,
always gonna get
regardless.
haters. And you just dust that
Yeah.
off your shoulder and keep it
And
It's
moving.
like the people that are gonna say they cannot do anything about that. You know, that's human behavior. That's what they do individually. So it's not like they can stop that from happening. I feel like we
right.
shouldn't make the organizers responsible for situations like that either. We gotta always remember that was that person. It's not the bash. That's
Right.
that person. It's not the bash. You
It's the
know.
same concept as if you go to, like, if you go out with people who are not plus size and someone says, "Damn, you're too big for me," or, "You're the fattest person in the group." And it's like, for me, that doesn't bother me anymore because I'm like, yeah, that's because I get paid by the pound. You know what I mean? Like, I've found creative ways to combat that. And if someone says, you're not big enough, which oddly enough, me being 260 pounds and I don't know what's like 22, size 22. I've also been in those crowds where, there's the guys that like this SSBBWs or whatever.
Mhm.
And I'm like, that's cool. I wasn't for you anyways. Like, you just
Right.
have to have an attitude that bounces that type of, I don't want to say judgment, but what you like doesn't, like, what you eat don't make me shit. What you like doesn't make me horny, like, or whatever. Like, it doesn't have nothing to do with me. I don't care what you like. It didn't ask for your opinion. And the fact that you felt the need to say that to me, it's almost like they're trying to get a negative reaction out of you. But I just be like, psh, man, whatever. So if I'm not for you, why are you talking to me? Go to someone else. Who cares? Like, it
Right.
is what it is. But I do feel like having an open mind and just being aware that even though we are in a safe space, not everyone has the same intentions. Not everyone's there for the same reasons. And just don't let that shit affect you. Like Venus said, brush that shit off, keep it pushing. Like, can I buy you a drink? Like, are you hungry? Like
Mhm.
why? Like, and I feel like it's very especially when I say I get paid by the pound. Because when we were in Vegas, remember we were hanging out with a bunch of people from Chatterbait, and there
Mhm.
were some off people that were there with the people from Chatterbait, and there was this guy that was just like, my gosh, like you're a star. Like he was just real rude about it. And I was like, yeah, baby, I get paid by the pound. And he was disarmed immediately. Like, what can he say? What
Mhm.
can you say? So
Yeah.
you got to be tough, and you just got to go into it with an open mind. But we could talk about that all day. Let's talk about, when is the next bash?
Ooh, the next one. Let me
Is it
Soon,
see.
Stu's?
June 22nd, 21st to the 25th. I know all these. I have.
21st.
This is what I do.
June 21st to the
No, it's
25th.
actually earlier than that. That's the Wednesday through the Sunday, but I think he's starting the Monday. I'm not getting there till Wednesday. I feel like
Yeah.
it's a Monday.
I'm there
Yeah.
from the 12th. I go there like this is a
Really?
2 week.
Oh,
Yeah,
you
this is a
go, you go,
15-day
you
trip for
go.
me. No,
This
I
is
go,
not
I
no game.
go.
She's out here like I'm bashing. We bashing is
I
what we
said
do. That's what it is.
Vegas. For
Well,
real.
I will be there on Wednesday.
I will be already
That's what my
exhausted.
vacation time has allowed me and allotted me to go. So, are
And
you
it
going?
is that
Okay.
one is at the Plaza Hotel. Oh, tips that I give to people: stay in the host hotel if you can, if it is affordable,
Yes.
because leaving a party to go back to your room, no fun. No
It's
fun.
never,
It is
and you
not.
always miss some fun, and you're always like, I don't want to
Yeah.
go.
Like
Yeah.
I said, the after party with Julian, it was until 6 a.m. that I would go to my room. You know what I mean? Like it's
It's
not
like when we
great
go
to
to
Uber somewhere.
Yeah, it's like when we go to the Exotica shows, a
Yeah,
lot of the stuff that happens in the
is in there.
hotel by just
Yeah.
going downstairs to the bar or the restaurant,
Mhm.
or just walking through the hallway. And like those are instances that happen at bashes as well, where like you just happen to stumble upon a party in the hallway because people don't want to stop partying, but they're at their rooms and they're like, hey, and of course, people that have been drinking are just like, fuck it, let's just do it here. Let's not do it, but you know what I mean? Like, let's just continue
Yeah.
to socialize and have fun, and then you're at your room. So then you open your door and go to bed. So it's
I was
a
gonna
lot
say
easier than
another
having to like go.
Yeah.
and another little thing that I always like try to let people know is that we know that there are people that have mobility issues and everything, and most, at least the ones that I've been to, most do allow you to like they're accessible at most of them. I won't say that all of them are because there's some that could do better. But I've seen people in these bashes in scooters and everything if they have mobility issues. Like and they're out there, they're partying with all of us. I'm just saying that this shouldn't be something that stops you from attending an event like this. Like I know there's people that think, oh, it's a party, I cannot go because I cannot go dancing more than whatever time, like, and I feel when I see people out there like just hanging out and still having fun, I try to recommend to everyone regardless of their condition, um let me ask one last question to finish this out. What is a funny anecdote that you remember from a bash?
I don't know. I think you're supposed to read the rule is what happens at the bash stays at the bash.
Ah.
Um,
That's a good
Unless
I
it
one
ends
though.
mean,
up on social media.
oh, and I guess because I've been going since way, way before, and now that I'm
Right.
a little older, I don't do a whole lot of the shenanigans. I'm not giving up all my bash secrets,
Oh.
and this is not what we're gonna do here today.
That's a good
I'm
stuff
just
then.
trying to think.
when
It's
we,
just,
when we
I mean,
stop
there's been
recording.
some things. No, I'm not giving up no more tea. I gave up all the tea before.
I
I
have
just
one
have a good
little one.
time.
Oh, you go ahead.
Okay, go for it.
I have one little
You
one.
tell your bash tea.
No, it's not even technically mine, but with the whole after parties thing, there was one of them that I told one of the people that I met. It was a whole group we met on the pool, and we were like, "Oh my god, meet with us afterwards. This is the room, all that stuff." And they were like, "Oh, okay, we'll get it there." I did not pack a pouch for my phone, and I was with my phone diving in the pool with it, and then it ran out of battery. I couldn't connect it. It died, and we couldn't communicate with each other, right? So they, I guess, started asking around where the after party was in the Facebook groups or something, and they told them a room. And when they went there was a pineapple upside down on the door. They didn't know what it meant.
Oh,
They went in, they started hanging out, and they were like, they said that at first it was really fun, and then the vibe started changing, and they were like,
this is not
and I'm like, girl, the pineapple. It's a
pineapple.
swingers party inside the bash. They ran out of there when they realized what it was. I was dying because they the next day is when they tell us, girl, what party did you send us to? And I was like, that's not the one I sent you to.
I have an antidote too. Don't fall in love at the bash.
Yes,
Because
Oh,
baby,
please,
yes,
baby,
please.
he's for
yes.
everybody.
He's gonna say whatever.
There's some she's out there too. Everybody ain't
That
for everybody.
Oh
too.
no,
But I'm
for
just
real.
saying,
Yeah.
Keep it at the bash.
I think it's hilarious when they get like, and I've seen it happen. They love him. Now, he's just a very friendly person. Very friendly. I've
Mhm.
known him for freaking years. And he has never, ever, in any way, shape, form, or fashion, made me feel like I was a target or a person of interest or anything like that, right? But I understand how some people take that friendliness to the next level and have seen how they will fight to the death. That's my
Yeah.
man. And I'm just like,
He's sitting there looking like, no, I ain't.
No, man,
he,
baby, it's a community man. Like it's part of
and
the
Oh,
sometimes they're just
community.
extra friendly. You know what I mean? Like they're just really supporters of our community and they want everyone to have a good time. And I really felt like that's kind of where he was coming from. He was just making sure everyone was comfortable, having a good time. It's nice to have a good looking gentleman, talking to you and asking you questions that, are just, make you
I
feel like you're having a good time. But
so
that's not love, baby.
I do think that for some people who have been sheltered because of their sort of low self-esteem or whatever it
Mhm.
is,
Yeah.
They go
that
in there and
first
they go
couple of
crazy.
bashes, they just out here wilding. Like, I
Mhm.
didn't even know people want to smash. They want to smash me. They want to bend me over and do what? That's okay. Come on over here.
They find me attractive?
It's
Yeah,
so
like I
wild.
mean, I want to say I'm not gonna say I was busting it open like that, and maybe this ain't the chat for this. But I will say there was a level of shock and awe of I'm an attractive person. People perceive me as an attractive person, and I just didn't know what to like. I just didn't know what to do with it for a minute. Like
Mhm.
I just was confused. So
You're a
Yeah,
hot
I could see
commodity
that.
on these bashes. You're a hot
That's what they're
commodity.
there for. They're there for
Right.
that's why we go to these events because it I'm not going to lie and say that I like going to stuff that plus size people aren't normally invited to or normally wouldn't attend because I like the challenge. I love when a guy who typically doesn't like plus size women is like, "Hey, who are you?" But I'm not doing anything with it. You know what I mean? I just like the challenge of seeing a guy who might be pretty arrogant and I could break him down and turn him into my little
oh,
but we're going to leave that for
Sorry.
another conversation. But
so
but in these environments I do see how that does become a thing where you're like around people who actually acknowledge that you are beautiful and that these are not typically situations we're used to being in where people are like, oh my god, you're so beautiful, you're so fine, you know what I mean? So
And so publicly, because I think that's what it is. I think we all know that fat girls get the attention all the time, but not so publicly. So in a bash is when it's all out there, and people that go to a bash, believe me, they have no problem walking around with a fat girl next to them. So I think that's what that was the shock, what it is. To be honest, for me personally, it was
I
that.
do want to add though that I think going to the bashes for so long and feeling empowered now means when I go to non plus size related events, I don't give a fuck. Oh wait, can we say that?
Right.
Yes, we
Like
can.
Yeah.
I'm a
It's
baddie
a
all
bad
day
word.
in my leggings and my t-shirt, in my
Yes.
bodycon, in the bikini, in the Zumba aerobics, whatever it is. I'm a baddie. All like
Yeah.
I'm not. That's not changing because I'm fat. I know I'm fat. You know I'm fat. I'm a bad bitch.
So, do you feel like you've gained confidence as a result of attending the bashes, or is that just something that you've achieved in your life personally, and now
I
you
think
implement that into your daily life?
I think the bashes lit the spark,
Yes.
Mm.
and and so from there, for let's say the first couple of years, they were the foundation to help me get there. But I don't think
Mhm.
at some point in my life, I decided I don't only want to go to plus size events.
Right.
Right. So, or I don't want to be, I don't, if I walk in a room and maybe everybody know there's nobody who wants to dance with me, I don't sit in the corner and like, oh, woe was me. I'm like, nah, we out here
Right.
dancing. And I'll tell you, me and my girlfriends went to Puerto Rico for a girls trip
Ow.
and nothing was popping off at the club we went to. God, I can't go to clubs. That's another talk. So nothing was popping off. So a Beyonce song, The Single Hands came on. I'm a single hands kind of chick. Me and some Indian, maybe, I'm not really sure, guy who I don't think is really into me, but we started dancing and the whole dance floor turned up. Like,
That's awesome.
I'm out here and I don't really care if you don't like it. So
I was gonna say that for me, I used to be the girl that was wearing always the cardigans to hide the arms. The arms was one of my biggest insecurities. I told you the bash was the first time I ever wore a two piece that would show my belly. And I will say that it wasn't just the bashes. I think it started with social media more than anything and working on my photography and doing it on myself and like seeing myself, beautiful in an image helped me a lot. But the bashes was that boost that kind of like said you can do it in public. You don't have to just do it in your bedroom and online. You know what I mean? Like you can go out there and do it too. And it's crazy because it's been only a few years for me being a person that is comfortable with being out there with as little clothing as I can wear. And now look at me. Now look at me. No, but seriously, like the bash definitely was a boost. So if someone ever needs like that little boost in confidence or to be in a group that where you can see everyone that is positive towards fat people in one place, go to one of these events because they're all out there. It's just that when you go to a bash it's more impactful because we're all together and it's it's like a concentrated experience, I guess.
Not
yeah.
only that, but like when you're somebody like me who kind of falls in that middle section and you're like, "Oh man, I don't know if I could wear a two-piece." And then you go to Bash and you see this chick that's like 400 pounds wearing a two-piece and doesn't give no fucks. You're like, "What the hell am I
Mhm.
doing? Why
Right.
am I over
I need to
here?"
make better life choices.
Right. Like what, and it makes you like, what if she's comfortable, why am I not comfortable? And it's like, fuck it, just do it. Put
And
that
I do want
two-piece
to
on.
say I I love now that I see more plus size dudes who are
Mhm.
like, look, I got the man boobs, I got the belly, I got all of this. I'm out here dancing and doing what I do. I'm slaying chicks. Don't hate.
Oh yeah.
Like, and maybe not slaying chicks, but you get what I'm saying. Like, it's just a generally good and positive, generally environment to empower yourself and others.
I swear
And I
that in the
love,
Las
yeah.
Vegas one, in the Las Vegas one, that was some of the most fun people that I spent a lot of time with in the batch were the plus size guys. Like they were a hoot. I love them so much. I cannot wait to see them again.
Yeah, for sure.
Well,
Oh, thank
that
you.
was
So,
a
This
good
was fun.
conversation. Yeah, it
This
was
is
really
yes,
fun.
I enjoyed this. Thank you guys for having me. I appreciate this.
What do you
And
have
you guys
about?
can. Hmm?
go ahead.
I was gonna do my plug, but what were you
Go
gonna
Yeah,
say?
ahead.
that's
Go
what I was
ahead. Do
gonna
your
say.
plug. Do
Plug
your
Oh,
plug.
it
so you can find us on socials under Savagely Curvy Connect. So this is Instagram. We have a YouTube channel where we publish videos once a month ish, and also
in.
we're working on our TikToks. So thank you for
Awesome.
having me.
Perfect.
And for us, you can find us always on iHeartBBW. You can find me and Instagram as Bori Curves and Carrie.
You can find me on iHeart BBW. That's my life all day, every day. But what I was gonna say is one, we are working on a directory page on iHeartBBW that lists all the different bashes and plus size events. And we're also going to link you as well so they can come to see all of the stuff that you have. And furthermore, we are thinking about doing a Baltimore BBW bash
Oh.
Nice.
2024. Just saying. I feel
Okay.
like the East Coast needs more representation, and I want to, I want to do something maybe. I don't know.
That'd be
Okay.
cool. I love
Yeah.
that. Do you have Venus? Do you have any bashes that you're affiliated with that you have a code that you use with them? No,
No,
they're
nobody
missing
loves
out.
me.
They gotta ask you for these things. In our case, iHeartBBW does have a bash that we do have a code if you ever want to get a little discount from it, which is
Okay.
Next Level Plus Events. They
Okay.
have a bash in Chicago in October. What are the dates, Carrie?
October 26th to the 29th, we are hosting the tie-dye pool party, and we are going to be hosting several workshops and also the roaming room party. We are going to be bringing merch. We are bringing photography stuff, so we'll be doing photography there. Like, we are coming and just representing for iHeartBBW all day, every day. So if you're going to go or thinking about going, I definitely recommend booking your room and getting your tickets now. There's only a limited amount of tickets left. They're selling out fast. But nextlevelplusevents.com, and the code is iHeartBBW. And if you use our code, we have some surprises for you. And we're not going to say what they are. You got to show up and come get them, but we're going to have some stuff for you.
And if you're a bash organizer, hit us up and bring us to your bash. Let's party it up. Bring us with Venus and let's bring the experts and the iHeartBBWs there.
Exactly.
Listen, our problem
You are.
is trying to limit when they say you can only bring 6, 7, 10. We're like,
Right.
damn. How do we select who those people are? So if you're looking for a group to come in, and we're going to come in and show
We
up,
turn
show
it
out.
up. Yeah.
We're showing up and showing
Oh,
out.
okay.
Yes. So for sure, if you guys are a bash event organizer, hit us up.
Hit us
And
all
Venus, you should
up.
come with us. You always
Right.
welcome.
I'm here. Where we at? Where
Hey,
we
where we
Our
going?
new iHeartBBW team member.
Hey.
In fact, we could make the directory page brought to you by
Oh,
Savagely.
we should
Hey.
talk
Listen,
about
we
this
gotta talk. We
offline.
gotta
What we
talk.
gonna
Yeah, we
do?
got to talk. We got to talk. But it was a great conversation. Thank
Yeah.
you so much for taking the time to come and share with us your bash
Thank
experiences, because
you.
I'm a bash floater. I wouldn't say I'm a bash basher. I think that's, you get that title because you've been to
Oh
so
yeah.
many
And she
for
knows
so
about
long.
all of them. I only know like a few of them. I feel
You'll
like I'm
get
still
there. You'll
enclosed
be
in a
get
little
there.
bit. Yeah.
We got to bring you into the dark side.
We should do a bash tour next year.
A bastard.
That's
Oh,
my
like
every
people when
year.
they go every state and oh, I get what you mean. Yeah, yeah. That's
We
fun.
could have like a big bus. BBW. Okay, let me stop. Let me stop because
She's
You
going
might
out
have us
there.
on the
I
road.
just spent like $2 million in that little. The tour has already turned into like a Beyonce tour. Like, I think that would be dope though. Like, we could record our vlogs about like our adventures and like see the world
Mm-hmm.
as BBWs. Maybe not 2024, maybe 2025 when I turn 50. Oh, that'd be a great
Ooh.
pitch to hubby.
Oh,
I just need $2
have a
million.
sex.
Buy me a bus. I need a driver, and we're
That's
gonna
nothing.
travel the
Oh,
world.
that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, well,
Okay.
thank you so much.
Thank
And we
you.
will see you around next time. Maybe we'll bring out Bash's conversation more. Let everyone know, all your friends, about Bashes. There's so many people that don't know about them. And when they get out there, they're
Yeah.
gonna see why we're raving about it and why I'm so excited. I'm so excited now for the summer. Like the summer started, we're doing it. We're doing
Ready. I'm
it.
so ready.
We're ready. Well, thank you so much.
All right. Thank
Bye-bye.
you. Have a
Thank
good night.
you.
Bye.
Bye.